Hi there. In this screencast, I'm going to show you a little bit about GraphCalc to help you work on the project today for graphing shifted functions. So when you open GraphCalc, by default, up in the left-hand corner, you're going to see three tabs: Output, Graph 1, and 3D Graph. Output is the one that you'll see will be active when you open the calculator, and you can actually use the keypad down in the lower right hand corner as if it's just a regular online calculator to do computations. Then to graph functions, specifically two-dimensional functions, which is what you're doing in today's exercise, you want to click on the Graph 1 tab. And then you're going to go and you're going to set the you're going to go to the 2D graph menu and go to display. And you should select options that are similar to these so that you do have an axis, you do have a grid, you do have coordinates, and actually labels are helpful too, and that the line for the plotting style is at least size 3 and preferably size 5. Then for range and precision, this is where you specify the scale of your graph. So you're going to go and enter -10 and +10 with the x for the x min and x max, and do the same thing for y min and y max, and then do x SCL scale of 1 and y scale of 1. Okay, so once you have done that, you're ready to graph. Now, actually, before I even go further, if you go to Equations, the Equations tab, you can actually specify the colors of the lines that you're going to be graphing. So you want to make sure that you pick a different color for each function, so that no two graphs are going to be the same color for any of the functions that you're going to graph. Okay, so now let's go and I'm going to actually graph something. So you go over to the right side, and beside the thing that says y1, you're going to enter what is on the right side of the function of the f of x. So, for example, if I want to, and I'll just make one up right now, if I want to graph f of x equals, 3x squared, plus 2x minus 1, well, over up here in GraphCalc, I would do, let's see, and I'll blow this up so you can see both sides. I would do 3 asterisk, and then I can do x, caret symbol, and caret symbol means exponent, 2, and then plus, and then 2 times, or the asterisk, x, and then minus 1. And then as soon as I put a check in that box, the graph should appear on the graph. Alright, so you're asked to graph both a parabola or a parent parabola function and a shifted parabolic function. And I think your parent function is something along the lines of like y equals -5x squared or something along those lines. And then your shifted function is something like -5 and then like x minus 3 squared, and then like plus 2 or something along those lines. So basically you would, for the one function, you'd want to do -5 times x exponent symbol 2 for -5x squared, and then for the other one, for example, you would do negative, for the shifted function, 5 asterisk, and then in parentheses x minus 3 close parenthesis, and then the caret symbol, which is above the 6 key, and then 2, and then plus 2. All right, and you should get two functions that are the exact same shape. Of course, one is just shifted from the other one, but they are the same shape. Okay, and the other one I think you're doing is the cube root of something. But just for the sake of example, let's say I was doing the fifth root and then a shifted fifth root function. So let's say I was trying to graph, the first one I was trying to graph in GraphCalc would be one that looks like this. And then the shifted one is going to look something, for example, it might look like the parent, except it'll have like, -1 and then, +3 on the end. Okay, so how do I do the fifth root? Okay, well, raising something to the one, or taking the fifth root of something is the same thing as raising it to the 1/5 power. So I'm really going to do, I'm just going to raise x to the 1/5 power in GraphCalc. So I'm going to do x, and then I'm going to do the hat symbol, and then in parentheses I'm going to do 1 divided by 5, and then close parenthesis. Okay, and I should get something that kind of looks like an S shape. And now to do the shifted one, okay, well, I'm going to I'll copy and paste that, and then instead of x, I'm going to write in parentheses x minus 1, close parenthesis, and then raise to the 1/5 power, and then +3. All right, and voila, I should get another S shape that's exactly the same shape as the other one, except it is translated somewhere else on the graph. Okay, so now in the assignment, I want you to kind of, just like what we were doing the other day, I want you to open or paste those two graphs and label them in a Google Doc. And this one is called shifted, I think shifted functions. And that can be found in basically in your College Prep Math group on your Google Drive. And basically, you will just go in and you'll open that. Alright, so I'm going to open shifted functions, and then I'm going to go to my graph, and I will do edit copy, and then I will do edit paste, and I will put the domain and range of my function. Okay, so I might say all real numbers, and I could just write it like that, and then maybe range would also be all real numbers. And then I might say shifted function f of x equals, and then I would do, I could just say, actually let me write the parent function. So I could say parent function in red, and that would be, f of x equals, and then I could say x exponent 1/5 power. Okay, and then I could do shifted function, and then here I should also say domain of shifted function, and range of shifted function. And then the shifted function, let's see, what did I say it was? I said it was, well, it would be the one in green. And it would be f of x, let's see, we were shifted 1 to the left, so that's x minus 1, and then 2 up. So that would be +2. Okay, and I think that's pretty much it. So you'll do one of those for each of the two functions. Put them in the same document, so just hit the enter button until it starts a second page. And once you're done with that, just save your graph and you can call it a day. Cheers.